Welcome to episode number 2 of the Mastering Marriage podcast, where our goal is to strengthen, unite, and restore your marriage. My name is Amanda Taylor, and my husband David and I are the co-founders of MendOurMarriage.com. And our goal is to break the back of divorce by bringing married couples together to be accountable, keep the passion alive, and expose the hidden issues that try to rip marriages apart.
That's right, guys.
All right, so let's get started.
Yeah, we're here. We're back.
Hey.
Episode 2. Deuce, baby. So, welcome back, guys. I hope you enjoyed the first episode. And this time, instead of having a voicemail, we're going to read a question, okay? And so, but before we get to that, I just want to kind of remind you guys that we are gearing up for the launch of MendOurMarriage.com.
September
the 5th. It's coming, guys, on Friday, September the 5th. You have to be there. We're going to be unleashing the site to the entire world. We have thousands and thousands and thousands, literally, of people waiting on our subscription, waiting for us to open up and unveil the full version of the website.
You said unleashing like it was an animal.
I mean, it's going to be an animal. We got to be an animal to break the back of divorce.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I mean, think about it, guys. 50% of first marriages end in divorce.
Wow.
60% of second marriages end in divorce. And 75% of third marriages end in divorce. Our goal is to change those percentages. We have to, guys.
Break that cycle.
We got to break the cycle. And, I mean, combine Mandy and I, if we look at our upbringing and our parents and, the marriage record for them guys, I mean, between the two of us, how many marriages and divorces do we have between the two of us?
I think about 14.
14, 15, something like that, you know, and so we learned a lot.
Yes.
And then we almost was one of those too, right?
Exactly.
We
had
almost
the bags packed.
Bags packed. We was about to, we was going to split up the dogs.
Yeah.
Dusty and Ginger would have been so broken.
They would have been so sad.
But anyway, guys, this is the condensed version of our podcast.
Right.
So we take a listener's question, we read it or play it, and then we answer it, and that's it. If you want a full version, if you want the coaching and consulting piece that we offer to our members, then that's something that you'll have to get when the membership package is unveiled on September the 5th. But for now, we're going to go ahead and read a question that was submitted to us, and then we're going to provide the answer. Okay? So here's the question. You want me to read?
Sure.
Okay. Okay, the question is this. As a young married couple still living with our parents, how do we keep intimacy alive? It feels awkward knowing that our parents or children may hear you or walk in on a private activity. Ooh, that's a little juicy.
It is.
So, okay, let's provide some advice for this person because, I mean, It sounds kind of interesting. So we're going to give you some tips on what you can do to help you in this situation.
Right.
Babe, go ahead and take the first jab at it.
Okay, so first off, we're going to start with a suggestion of saving money.
Yeah.
And what we're saying is you want to go ahead and develop a plan so that you can go ahead and get a place of your own, get a home of your own, so that you can establish your culture for your family.
Yeah.
Because it's definitely very hard, especially if you're newlyweds, to start your family and your own culture.
Yeah.
And so that's something that's really going to be important and key. We don't know your specific situation.
Yeah.
But we definitely think that should be something you start.
And that's the hard part is we don't know the specifics, but I'll speak from the vantage point of a husband. You want to establish your household. You want to establish a foundation for y'all. Now, and when I say y'all, it's not you and your in-laws and your parents, but it's y'all, you, your wife, and your kids. And I believe that when you aren't able to establish your own independence as a family, as a unit, then it's very hard for you guys to be seen and taken serious when it comes to family matters. Your parents are always going to be asking and giving their input and advice and intervening when they maybe shouldn't be intervening. Okay? Because marriage actually produces 3 families, right? Your immediate family, your spouse's family, but then your family with you and your wife. That's the third. And that's the most vital component. Exactly. And so you want to have a plan. And honestly, even though we don't know the variables, you should have a plan, your exit strategy in place, right? And when I say exit strategy, I mean in 6 months, we're going to be this amount of money closer to leaving. Or in 6 months, we want to have this amount of money saved up. But you want to have an exit strategy in place. You don't just want to be sitting around waiting for something to break loose. You literally have to make things change. So,
exactly.
If it means taking on a second job, which I'm not a big fan of, but you got to do what you got to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or if it means, eat noodles and noodles for the next week so that you can save extra money.
Or, being in a smaller place for the time
Being in a smaller place, yeah. But you want to establish your independence as a family. So make sure that you are saving money and you have an exit strategy in place.
Exactly.
And then what's the second point, babe? What do you think? What else can they do?
Well, the second point is getting over the fear,
Yeah.
getting over the embarrassment. I'm sure that if you are living with your parents, they already know that you two are married and you're having sex.
Yeah, especially if y'all got kids.
Exactly. And so I think that that's something, especially in this temporary period where you're staying with them, you're just going to have to get over that. Now, of course, you're going to have balance. I'm not saying bouncing off the walls and yelling and screaming at the top of your lungs, but at the same time, I'm sure that if they have not come to
I'm sorry, I just got a picture of that. I couldn't imagine if I'm, mama and them staying with us and, we having sex and she out there getting some water. It'd just be a little awkward. It's just
right. And
Sheezy. I don't want to scare Sheezy.
But the thing is, that's something you cannot neglect. You have to get it in. And so that leads us to our third bullet point, which is to get creative.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to think of it, as role playing in a sense.
Yeah, well, I like the concept because I know earlier we kind of talked about this and we talked about sneaking. But sneaking on purpose.
Exactly.
Kind of like go back to your high school days when you was doing stuff you weren't supposed to be doing. And put yourself in that position,
Right.
Maybe get a quickie in before mom and dad come home,
And that's not to say that you were having sex in high school. Maybe you were, maybe you weren't.
Whatever the case, we all were.
Whether it was whatever type of sneaking you was doing.
Just put yourself in that position, and like Mandy said, role play. It's legal, but position yourself as if it's like, dang, we don't want to get caught. Because what you do there is you stimulate more, you make it more fun.
And more exciting.
Yes. And it's different. It's not
risky.
The same. It's risky. And so maybe, I often tell my clients this, when I'm coaching them, I say the things that are your obstructions, use to your advantage. And you would like to make sure that you're using this to your advantage while you have this opportunity.
Right.
Right now, me and Mandy don't have the opportunity to sneak around and have sex. We can't avoid kids. I mean, we can sneak from the dogs, but we just put them up. You know what I mean? they don't care. They don't know what's happening.
No.
You know what I mean? But like when you got a parent or some kids in the house, you got to sneak around and maybe make it spicy. And I say use that to your advantage.
Right.
Make it fun.
Right. Make it fun and see how you can keep it in. You know, cover your mouth, cover his mouth.
Yeah.
Cover, and so then you'll be giggling and stuff under the covers because you're trying not to say something out loud.
Yeah.
And that just creates that spiciness that you need.
Yeah. And then lastly, with that, plan out opportunities. Look for opportunities where it's more, accessible. Sex is more accessible than in other opportunities. If you know that the parents are going to be out for a while or the child's going to be taking a nap, take advantage of those opportunities, those isolated moments when you know there's going to be no distractions.
Exactly.
And if you have to put a do not disturb sign on your door or you have to put a little thing on the outside, if you've been at a hotel and you don't want to wake up with housekeeping, they coming in trying
knock.
Well, put the thing on the outside, and when your mom or your dad walk by, they know, okay, they at it, so we can't really bother them right now.
Or it could be a sock on the door.
Put a sock on the door or something that lets them know that it's going down.
That way they can grab the kids and go outside. Go get some ice cream or something.
Yeah, you know. And so, but the moral of this story is use this to your advantage. You know, especially if you are going to be there for an extended period of time because you have to save up or whatever the case may be. Use this to your advantage.
Exactly.
Use this to foster the intimacy, to foster the fun, and the excitement.
And it's okay to plan things out sometimes. Yeah. I know I've heard people say, well, planning it takes the fun out of it. But sometimes you have to be intentional.
You have to be intentional, especially if you've been married for longer than a year.
Or even if you haven't been married for a year, especially, you're trying to develop that closeness and intimacy.
That'd be true. So hopefully you took heed, and if it's not you, someone else got information from that. But guys, we love your questions. We love it. So keep sending them in.
Thank
right?
you.
Thank you.
We love
You can go.
guys.
You can actually go to our Facebook page, and there's a SpeakPipe app there where you can actually, submit a 90-second question.
Right. It says leave a voicemail.
Yeah, leave a voicemail, or you can just send in a message, a personal message, or email us.
If you would prefer for us to read it on air,
Yes.
so your voice isn't heard.
Yeah,
it's
and
fine
some of you
too.
guys were a little concerned because you wanted to make sure we weren't using your name. So we're not going to use your name or anything that's going to, let people know, except for your voice, obviously. But, this is to help you. So,
Right. And
take
again,
advantage of it.
You can write in. You don't have to leave a voicemail.
Yeah. So, guys, we appreciate it. And we'll talk to you guys in the next episode.
All right. Deuce.
Deuce, baby.